Hello, this is the second video in the series about evidence-informed ideas that all teachers should know. And in this one we're going to talk about the importance of strengthening long-term memory through retrieval practice. This is very well evidenced through lots of cognitive science that we strengthen our memory, not so much by continually re-engaging with the information and trying to get it in over and over, but actually by practicing remembering, by trying to practice putting the memories we've already got from our long-term memory back into our working memory. And by doing that repeatedly, we actually are better at remembering things in the long term and we're less likely to forget. So a good example of that would be something like learning some facts about, let's say in this example, science. So I've got a cue card here. So imagine that what I'm trying to do is learn the names of the 4 basic alkanes, the hydrocarbons called alkanes. And I've written them down and I've got their formulas, and they're called methane, ethane, propane and butane. Now I might look at that over and over again and think to myself, yeah, I know that. Methane, ethane, propane and butane. And I can even see on the card the formulas. So I could look at that and go, yeah, CH4, that's the equation for, that's the formula for methane. And I know that. And if I look at it over and over again, I can persuade myself that I know it because I'm so familiar with it. But actually, to strengthen my memory of that, what I really need to do is test myself by practicing remembering. So do I know it without looking? So can I remember the sequence? Methane, ethane, propane, butane. Now actually it so happens that those are the things that I know very well because I'm a science teacher and I've used those terms over and over again. But to a new student, those words could be, very odd and gibberish even. So in order for them to really learn them, they're going to have to practice remembering them. So we do quizzes, we do little challenges, and we teach the students to do that for themselves. So they need to learn to have something like this where they say, on this side of the card, it might just say alkanes. And they're going to have to remember the 4 basic alkanes without looking. And they might also then extend that to the equations. Do I know the equation for ethane? It's C2H6, am I right? And you can check your own knowledge by looking back to see if you were correct. And that basic method of checking for understanding, learning to self-quiz is a really powerful method for retrieval practice. But there are lots of ways of doing it. Every lesson you can do all kinds of fun drills and practicing things so they become automatic. And the more automatic recalling things are, the better students are. One of my favourite examples is my son learning for his French GCSE, where he wanted to say something clever like, wherever I go, whatever I do in French. And he learnt the phrase, où que j'aille, quoi que je fasse. Où que j'aille, quoi que je fasse. Using the subjunctive. Now, in order to be fluent with that, he was practicing it. And he had no books open, just où que j'aille, quoi que je fasse. Repeating it to himself, practicing remembering it without constantly looking at it. If he had just looked at his notes repeatedly and read it, he might have thought, oh, I know that. But it was only by testing himself and checking he knew it and practicing that he strengthened that memory. And now it's something he'll never forget. He'll always know that phrase. And when it's appropriate, he can use that. So that's the power of it. There's lots of techniques for this, but it's something which sometimes we don't do enough of. It's important to me not to confuse us with some kind of old-fashioned idea of driller, killer, regurgitation. These rote learning, these phrases are always pejoratives. They always make this idea sound like it's a bad thing, but it's not. It's a really powerful, sensible, effective technique, and it works, and it's highly evidenced through evidence around from cognitive science. Retrieval practice, practicing remembering, rehearsal of your knowledge is very effective, and it should be a part and parcel of everyday life at school and in the way students study.